Sport has the power to change lives. It teaches women and girls teamwork, self-reliance, resilience and confidence. Sport's one of the most powerful platforms for promoting gender equality and empowering both women and girls.
And following the many successes on the playing field, sport has raised the profile of plenty of women across the globe, and it's helped us to build our dreams and become better leaders in our communities. Good morning.
Greetings to you all at home. My name is Valen Kirtley. Thank you for joining us once again right here on SABC2, where you belong. Today our conversation is all about women who have persevered against all odds. You're welcome to join in the conversation on social media. It's so easy across all platforms. It's hashtag the Ladies Club. On Twitter, it's at @sports@SABC, @LebelMotswedi, @Valen Kirtley, and you can just get us on all social media platforms, including Instagram.
And as Valen has already mentioned, we're chatting about women who have persevered against all odds. Now, our country is blessed with the compelling stories of women who succeeded against all odds and saw their life change because of their willingness to take a chance. And we can all take a page from their stories to learn how to turn your greatest tragedies into our greatest strengths. Love it already.
As per tradition, we'd like to set the tone with an inspiring quote. So this week's words of wisdom come from Paralympian Natalie. She says, even when bad things happen, you have to try to use those bad things in a positive manner and really just take the positive out of it. South Africa's very own Natalie is a champion swimmer, record breaker and 13-time Paralympic gold medalist. When she was 17, she was hit by a car while riding her scooter. The accident was bad and she had to have her left leg amputated at the knee.
And this, however, didn't really dampen her desire to compete in the Olympic Games. 3 months after her accident, she was able to walk again, and back in the pool, she continued her quest to the Olympic Games. And it was during the 2002 Commonwealth Games in Manchester, in fact, that she was then the 18-year-old swimming for Team South Africa, where she won both the multi-disability 50-meter freestyle as well as the multi-disability 100-meter freestyle in world record time. Also becoming one of and making history when she qualified to swim in the 800-meter able-bodied freestyle final. So she's really done incredible work.
Yeah, this was the first time in history that a disabled athlete was able to qualify and participate in the final of an abled body event. So she is certainly a legend and an icon of sport in South Africa, and so great to see her applying all her knowledge back into sport and developing youngsters, but also in decision-making positions, you know, in the different federations, not only with the Paralympic Committee, but also with South Africa's very own Olympic Committee in SASCOC.
Yeah, absolutely. Her work is seen in SASCOC. I mean, it's really incredible that she's able to also sit on the other side as an administrator of the sport, because she has been an athlete before. So she can tell the administrators that perhaps have not been an athlete at a competitive level to say, look, this is actually some of the things we deal with as athletes that trouble us, that we seek guidance with. And now she's on the other side, and she can probably see in terms of the T's and the C's and the budget restraints, etc. But phenomenal athlete she is.
Time now for the Ladies Club to take a quick break. Remember, our hashtag on social media is hashtag the Ladies Club. Before we go there, let's bring you some news. Let's see what's making news. New Zealand's Sophie Pascoe recently smashed Natalie Toit's long-standing record in the women's 200-meter individual medley. She clocked a new world record of 2 minutes 25.22 seconds at the World Paris Swimming World Series in Singapore, faster than Toit's 2 minutes 27.83 seconds from the Beijing Paralympics.
Pascoe is New Zealand's most decorated Paralympian with 9 gold medals and 6 silver medals across 3 Paralympic Games. Absolutely incredible feat. I think the younger generation are also coming up and showing that they too have a lot to prove to those that have set the bar tremendously high in various sporting codes, of course.
Records are there to be broken,
yes,
but you can't take away titles. Stay with us. We're back after the break.
Welcome back. Re tswela pele ka dipuo tsa rona tsa mafumahadi dipapading tse monate mona Afrika Borwa mmoho le mose. Hopolang hore o ka kopana le rona on social media platforms. O sebedise fela hashtag the Ladies Club. Nna ke @LebelMotswedi, hape ya Valen ke @Valen Kirtley @Sport at SABC.
We're joined in studio by the ever so bubbly Maria Combrink. She's our game changer today. Maria debuted at the 2017 Para-Athletics World Championships representing South Africa in shot put and discus, and she holds the African record in shot put, throwing 9.61 meters in the women's F44 category. Her category class has, however, since changed. She was also crowned the 2017 Disabled Sportswoman of the Year at the Gauteng Sports Awards.
And she's not new to the sporting world at all, having taken part in action cricket, action netball, basketball and underwater hockey. She herself has persevered against all odds. A hiking accident left Maria with a crushed right foot, forcing her to later amputate. She then had to make a few adjustments to her life, but that did not stop her from taking part in sports. We're going to find out all about Maria because she is in studio at the moment. Maria, good morning and welcome to the Ladies Club.
Good morning. Thank you for having me. Yes.
Now, we started with a quote from Natalie saying that do not let your circumstances or an unfortunate circumstance define who you are and what your future becomes. And that's exactly what you've done.
Yes, I believe that by using your own circumstances, you can actually help other people rise above their own circumstances. Because no matter how bad you think things are, it's really not that bad. It's always getting better, and there's always something better to look forward to in life. Yes, it's really, the sun will come up tomorrow and life will go on, and you just have to go on and see, well, what can I do today that will improve not only my life, but the people around me as well.
So tell us a little bit about the Maria before the accident, because sport has always been a part of your life, and it was a hiking accident that was the cause of the amputation, was the initial injury.
Yes, I love sport. I'm not always good at what I do, but I just love being active, being out there and competing or just being sociable on the sport field. And that was actually the main reason why I opted for amputation, because it allowed me to get my quality of life back after the accident. Whereas for 3 years, I couldn't do any sport or being active in any way whatsoever. So that was my main motivator to get the amputation and to say, well, this is now it, I have to carry on. I loved underwater hockey. I played since I was like 10 years old, and I've actually taken it up again now with a special leg. So, but that's besides the point. Yes, I think sport helps me to focus not only on while I'm on the sports field, but it also helps me to focus in life and to just bring a lot of the different facets of my life together in a way that makes more sense.
What happened with regards to the accident that you couldn't do anything anymore, and then you thinking, actually, let me just amputate?
Let's get on with it.
Yeah.
So when I fell, my foot bent backwards, and I fell with all of my weight, which was quite significant.
No, Maria.
On the bridge of my foot, and that crushed all the small little sponge bones in the bridge. So your bridge, basically what your bridge does, it's like the chassis of your car. So it keeps your body aligned and it helps you with balance. And when you roll over, when you walk, it takes the brunt, and it actually transfers all of the energy as you walk from the energy from your heel onto the front of your foot, which helps you with the balance and then the kickoff. So basically, I walked around with a broken bridge for 3 years. They did try to fix it with plates and screws, and I had nice hardware outside for about 7 months. I had external fixators on my foot, but it just didn't want to fuse because sponge bone needs to touch each other to grow. Sure. Yeah, so the one would die and it would rub against the other one, and that would go sclerotic again. So then they'd have to open up and scratch out and start all over again. And to start off with, it's really small little bones. It's about this size. So there's not a lot to work with from the beginning. So every single step I took, the bridge would basically it would sag out when I put my foot down, and when you lift it, the muscles will put it back up again. So I contended with a lot of inflammation, which then caused me not to be able to really walk on uneven surfaces. I couldn't wear open shoes. I couldn't even run. When it was raining, I'd be the one strolling to my car, getting all wet, because you just can't run. You don't have it in you, and it was just too sore. And then looking at the advancements in prosthetics over the last couple of years, I just thought, well, with a prosthetic foot, I can do basically what I was doing before.
And more.
And more. And so I thought, why not?
Here's somebody that before you fell while you were trying to take a picture of the beautiful view and you fell on the bridge of your right foot, you were doing action netball, action cricket, canoeing, korfball, athletics, basketball, softball, underwater hockey. I mean, you were incredibly active. And then you have this accident and none of the 9 surgeries are actually working. And then you make this decision, which a number of surgeons say to you, that's not the right decision to amputate. Tell us a little bit about the psychology.
Well, I always say, I think I have a very short memory for hardship, so which helps me a lot because when you make the decision, and once I've weighed up all of the choices that I had, which was actually not many, it was walk with that foot, have a fusion and have a 30% chance of success rate, or go for an amputation and see what happens, basically. The orthopedic surgeon that eventually did the amputation made me go and see a psychologist before the amputation to see if I was indeed a candidate for secondary amputation. And to be quite honest, I actually kind of felt guilty because I was looking forward to getting my life back. So while I was sitting there, there were a lot of people fighting to keep their limbs at all costs, and I'm saying, you know what, it's not giving me any pleasure, it's not giving me any joy, it's time to let it go. So in that sense, I had a bit more of a guilt associated with it, and to be quite honest, a lot of excitement of what the opportunities might be going forward.
At which point, because you had been active before, and then inactive for a good 3 years plus, at which point did you decide, actually, now we're going to take part in this sporting code or that sporting code? Did you have to go through a couple of things to decide, let me see where I wanna go, because I'm competitive in nature?
Well, I started off going to watch the SABC National Championships that was hosted at UJ that year. And I thought, oh, look at them. And I actually just started walking again after my amputation. It was about 3 months after my amputation. And I was looking at these people and I'm like, maybe I can do that. But then I ended up playing wheelchair basketball for a bit.
Yeah.
And while I was playing wheelchair basketball, the Athletics Association saw me and said, no, please come and try and see if you like it or not. And I thought, well, I'm playing wheelchair basketball, but it's making me lazy because, I can walk. Yeah. Why am I sitting? I've been fighting for 3 years to be able to walk and run again, and now I'm going back to a wheelchair. So that didn't make sense. So then I went and tried the athletics, and while I was at a function, I was busy explaining something, and I was doing this, and Marco Gaglioni, who's the rowing coach for the SA Mix LTE rowers, saw me and he's like, with that wingspan, you must come and row. So I went from wheelchair basketball to rowing, which is quite an endeavor. It's very you must be highly dedicated. It's very physical, and I have not been very active for 3 months. I nearly died, but it was wonderful. It was really a great experience. And then from there, I just moved back into athletics.
And she moved into athletics with aplomb. She went on to get 4 national titles in shot put as well as in discus. We'll chat a little bit more about that. Do stay with the Ladies Club. We'll be back after this.
Welcome back on the Ladies Club. Remember to continue our conversation when we talk about incredible women in sport on social media platforms. Impa, Harukale Trailblazer Yaronea Kajenu Ilin, the former SA Paralympian Zanele Situ, who's a successful Paralympic champion who has been throwing that javelin since 1988.
The evergreen Zanele Situ. It was a TB infection that left her paralyzed in both her legs when she was just 12 years old. But she was determined not to let that get her down.
She obviously overcame great adversity to become the first Black South African female athlete to win a Paralympic gold medal at the 2000 Sydney Games.
The wheelchair-bound Situ went on to defend her gold medal at the 2004 Paralympics, and she was given the honour of being Team South Africa's flag bearer at the Rio Paralympics opening ceremony.
But let's continue our conversation with our game changer in studio, who's also done amazing work, incredible trendsetter, game changer, trailblazer, Maria Combrink. You all of it all in one. Tell us about the inspiration of some of the athletes within camp when you go to the Paralympic Games or all various kinds of games, especially when you talk about Zanele Situ.
Well, it was actually the first time I met some of the Paralympic athletes. I'm like, oh, I get to meet these people. and I must say, it's actually it's great to meet them all, and they're such marvelous people. All of them are always smiling, always willing to help you. There's such a feeling of camaraderie and friendship wherever you go. It's really an amazing feeling. Yes.
You managed to successfully defend your shot put as well as your discus national title at the recent SASAPD National Championships, and obviously it's World Championships coming up in Dubai. What are your hopes for Worlds this year?
Well, firstly, I hope to get invited to make the team for World Championships in Dubai. I would love to ratify my F64 record at Dubai for shot put, and I'm currently ranked 4th for discus. I would like to be able to maybe bump that up to 3rd place going in with the build-up to Tokyo 2020. I'm aiming to currently, my distance is about 27 meters. I would like to, ideally by the end of the year, hit that 30-meter mark.
Sure.
Yes.
And what has been the most successful highlight of your career so far? Because you did start being an athlete with a disability at a later stage of your life.
When I think back on my career in sport, there are a couple of points that stand out. During my competition time, when I was still not differently abled, I've represented South Africa in underwater hockey for the junior championships. And yes, I thoroughly enjoyed it. That was my first taste of meeting international athletes and rubbing shoulders with international athletes. So that would always stand out in my mind. And then when I competed at the London 2017 World Championships, it was just such an amazing feeling, you know, when you walk out in that arena and 15,000 people are watching you, that noise, that energy, and then when they start the shotgun for the 100 meters or the sprints, it goes dead quiet. You cannot believe how quiet that stadium can go, and then it just erupts. See, I still get yes.
Yeah.
And then the noise and the energy that just erupts when they sprint or when they show somebody doing something magnificent on the field. It's just an incredible feeling being there and just being part of all of that.
I mean, you've gotten all of us so excited. But what are your goals when it comes to sport, and what would you like to achieve?
On a personal level, I would really like to be able to go and take part at a Paralympic event. That I think would be the first and foremost. And then I would really love to be able to assist younger athletes and younger women with disabilities and focusing on maybe developing their sports careers and giving them platforms to be able to excel at sport, or even just not if they don't excel, just to get that joy of competing and that joy of just feeling what it's like to be part of something that's bigger than yourself.
Do you think we still need to do more as a society to let people that look different, not a disability, that look slightly different, to also be part of a competitive streak that we all find ourselves in, whether it's hockey, whether it's football, whatever it is? Are there those platforms? Are they there?
I think that there has been strides made, definitely, for more inclusive fields, platforms in sport. However, you can always improve. I think that, just for example, if you're competing for South Africa, there are very few local competitions, so you have to go internationally to compete, and it's very expensive, and there's not always the funds available, because if you're a young and upcoming athlete, you know, you still have to prove yourself, you still have to show that you have what it takes, and you have the dedication, and you have the professionalism. So to get onto that platform, I think there's quite a lot of scope to be able to help younger athletes grow and see what's out there.
Who is Maria away from sport?
I'm a geologist by training, and I do, after the amputation, the profession felt that I might be a health and safety risk, so I moved more out of the field and more into the office. I still do site visits, which I love, and still do get a chance to do some field work. So that bit, I love rocks and minerals. I can talk about it for hours. And then I love to just enjoy life and see what I can do. No matter if I'm good at it or not, if I enjoy it, I'll give it a try.
Maria, your final words of wisdom to young women out there and to ladies that are watching you today.
Go out and try. If nothing else, just go out and try. Give it your best. See what happens. Worst that can happen is you can fail, and then you just dust yourself off and try again, because you will never ever know how well you can do at something if you don't step out of your comfort zone. Just do it. Just go out and try.
And before we let you go, a favorite song that perhaps gets you going before you get onto that field?
I'm a bit more of a relaxed listener, so...
What are you listening to in your car?
Well, slow music, otherwise I get a bit aggressive while driving.
What kind of slow music?
So, Midjour, Breathe, definitely up there, and then some Tori Amos. Can't go wrong with Tori.
Maria, it's been wonderful having you in studio. Thank you so much for sharing part of your life with us. You've been a wonderful guest, and all the best of luck in the future and reaching your goals.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for highlighting women in sport and giving us a platform to show that anything is really possible.
Thank you for being the light, Maria. Oh, what an incredible game changer, trailblazer, trendsetter. She's everything all in one, and that's all, unfortunately, the time we have for you this week. The Ladies Club. You're welcome to send us your ideas of trailblazers, of stories, really, of women in sport that inspire you at home.
We'd love to hear what you have to say and who you'd like in our Ladies Club Lounge, and who we can shine the spotlight on. Remember our social details, our social media details rather, they're on the screen now, so you can get in touch in any way that you would like to, and we can do this all again next week. And until we do, remember that greatness is earned and never ever given. Goodbye from Lebo, myself, and the entire Ladies Club team.